It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Now, Mr. Nelson, I'm a Cold War warrior. In fact, I'm entitled to the Cold War Medal. Haven't applied for it. During the entire Cold War, Mr. Nelson, and I've discussed with you in the past, the reason why Great Britain during the 1700s, 1800s was the greatest military might on the planet, because they had the largest navy. So I ask you, Mr. Nelson, who's had the largest navy since World War II?
U.S.
So who has the biggest military might in the world?
I think it's the U.S. Could be China, could be Russia.
Let me just make this simple for you folks. The United States spends more money on its armed forces than the next top 10 countries combined, and that includes Russia. Now, let me just tell you this, Mr. Nelson. During the entire Cold War, especially for you folks out there who were Cold Warriors like myself, Russia didn't even have an aircraft carrier. They didn't get an aircraft carrier until like in the late 70s. So if you don't have an aircraft carrier where you can project your military might by landing your forces, which, I mean, after all, this is the Marine Corps birthday. Happy birthday, Devil Dogs, 241st birthday. We are the pirates. We're the modern-day pirates. We go out on ships. We get off the ship. We kick your ass. We take your loot, and we bring it back to the U.S. That's our job. Definition, pirate. Other countries they don't even have the capability of doing that. Russia to this day, as I'm speaking to you right now, Mr. Nelson, you know how many aircraft carriers Russia has?
No, how many?
One. And it is so decrepit that they have to carry a tugboat with it because it breaks down all the time. And I challenge during this show or any other show I ever appear on, Mr. Nelson, for your listeners to do your own little research and come back and say that I'm lying to you. It's all a BS game, Mr. Nelson. The Cold War was all BS. And all these guys who made all kinds of huge profits off the Cold War, when Reagan said bring the wall down, and Reagan didn't have a damn thing to do with it. He just happened to be in the White House when the Soviet Union went bankrupt. But, you know, white people like to rewrite history so they give Reagan all his credit. Please. Reagan was an idiot. The only guy dumber than Reagan running for president is the one running right now, Donald Trump. But he surrounded himself with neoconservatives. Donald Trump's going to do the same thing because he knows he's an idiot. Today, Donald Trump met at the White House with President Bush. And then I say Obama. Why? Because Obama is the best Republican the Democratic Party has provided since Bill Clinton. So it's easy to blur the names. So Barack Hussein Obama met with Donald J. Trump today. They spent like 90 minutes in that room. And I've only been alive, less than 60 years. But I've never seen in my lifetime an incoming president meet with the present president for as long as they did. And did you hear any of Donald Trump after he came out of that meeting with President Barack Hussein Obama, Mr. Nelson?
Yeah, he sounded like a different man.
He sounded like a punk, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Because they sat his ass down and told him what things really are like in the White House, and now he realizes, oh, my God, this is no longer a reality show. I can't believe these dummies actually elected me, and now I'm going to have this responsibility. Oh, I can't wait to get back to the White House so Barack can tell me some more on what to do. And these white folks who put him in the White House are already going ballistic, Rush Limbaugh and everybody else, because all this crap that Donald Trump said to them, feeding into the xenophobia, feeding into their misogyny, feeding into their bigotry and racism, all of a sudden they're like, damn, he's not going to indict Hillary. Damn, he said Barack Hussein Obama was a great guy. And they're going to probably be calling the suicide hotline tomorrow because that's politics. Mr. Nelson, Carroll Quigley, I still consider him the quintessential, I would say the political scholar of all times. And in 1964, he wrote the book Tragedy and Hope. Carroll Quigley was Georgetown University. Bill Clinton was tutored, mentored by Carroll Quigley. When Bill Clinton accepted the nomination for president in 1992, I must take this opportunity to thank my mentor, Carroll Quigley. Carroll Quigley says in his book, Tragedy and Hope, In fact, what I really should do is read it directly. But basically what he says is the trick in this country is to make the two parties appear to be different. So every 4 years you can vote the rascals out without any significant change in policy. So a lot of folks will come on with all their expertise, and I'll be glad to deal with it because, I came on the show because today is the Marine Corps' birthday and tomorrow is Veterans Day. But I'm sure your listeners have a lot of questions about the election. If you really want to know how Hillary and Donald Trump ended up the two and how now Donald Trump is being declared the potential president-elect, I'll be glad to entertain that with you. I'll go step by step with you. I'll put it also on my Mark from Anaheim Political Sarcasm 101 Facebook site. Mark from Anaheim Political Sarcasm 101, and that's not a group site. That's the fan page site. I haven't used a group site in 6 years. But I'll put it on there and step by step for you folks because very little in politics happens by accident, and you've been had.